Check it out, guys. In my quest to find more plants that attract hummingbirds, I've stumbled upon this lavender, and we're going to propagate it. So since last summer, I've been on a mission to gather different plants that attract hummingbirds because I love seeing these hummingbirds flying around here. And last summer I found one with little red flowers and it attracted them all summer long. And I didn't know that lavender attracted hummingbirds, and sure enough, there they are just swarming around that little bush. So I thought I gotta take some cuttings of this stuff and spread it around. Now, I love the smell of lavender. My wife's not such a big fan, but hey, to each their own. I'm going to take a bunch of cuttings and we're going to put them around the property and see if we can get more hummingbirds zoning in on these guys. So lavender is best taken as a softwood cutting in the early part of summer. So I've already gone out and I've taken a bunch of cuttings. I actually snipped back the branches from last year's growth here, but you can see it's just real supple, tender, soft wood, this green growth here. And that's exactly what we want to use for our cutting material. We got them all cut and whittled down here. The bottom halves of them have all the leaves pulled off, and these guys are ready to stick in the container. All right, so the first thing I did was moisten these little lavender cuttings with some water just on the tips. And we're going to use our rooting hormone now, and I'm just using the Hormone 3. I've this little bottle, I'm just never quite getting to the end of it, but I'm just going to dab those guys in there and shake off the excess. And then they're ready to go. They've got rooting hormone on them. And yes, these guys will root without rooting hormone. The hormone just gives them a little bit higher percentage of rooting success. And then we're just going to stick them in here. And I'm just going to gently push these guys down in because the sand's kind of firm and these guys are softwood cuttings. In fact, I think for this one I'm going to have to use some type of a dibbler to get them down in there without breaking. Now you don't have to worry about firming these guys in because when we water this now, that sand's just all going to fall into place and it will be contacting every part of those cuttings down in there. That's just the nature of sand, so it makes it real easy for this part of it. And after running some water over it, that's what they look like, all sealed down in there nice and tight. So now we just need a little cover to put over this to maintain 100% humidity as these guys are rooting. And it just so happens that I've got another soda bottle to place right over all of these cuttings. So I'm going to get them sealed down in here, get all those little leaves as much as I can, and just push it down a ½ centimeter or so. And this is going to build up some beautiful humidity. Now all we got to do is go place this on the north side of a building in the northern hemisphere, the south side on the southern hemisphere, and no direct sun can ever touch this plastic. So here we are, north side of a building, lots of overhead skylight, absolutely no sun shining down on this thing. And that's what I love about this little area. It is just perfect for propagating plants. So today is July 12th. We're just going to leave this alone right now. And these guys should be rooting in 2 to 4 weeks. So we'll come back when there's something to come back to. So today is August 25th and these guys have been sitting out here for, wow, like maybe, I don't know, a month and a half, something like that. And I told you they'd root in like 2 to 4 weeks, and they probably have, but I just haven't had a chance to come out here and check on them yet. Now, I did take that cap off of the top here maybe a week and a half ago. I have been watering just around the outside edge every time I come out to water the rest of my plants. Let's get them in the hoop house and see what we've got. So like I said, it's been longer than I thought, but let's get this guy off here and take a look at what we've got inside. That little forest of lavender. All right, let's dig down deep, see if we can get some roots. All right, I'm going to try and do this just like we did with the burning bushes without disturbing too much. And I think I'm just going to put them back in this pot to keep growing once we look here. So we got one here, no roots down below, but we've got one long root right here coming off this guy. Let's turn that. You see it? One long root coming right up from where it was sitting right on top of the sand. Set him aside. Alright, let's see what we got. There we go. Now we're getting some. There's some more there. Shake that off a little bit. Look at that, guys. We got this lavender rooting. Now, this stuff is fairly fragile. I mean, it's a smaller plant, and so really, just like the burning bushes, you would want to keep these guys buried down in that sand all the way through the winter, and then when they're hardened off and the roots are stronger, then you could pot them up. That one doesn't have anything there. Let's see here. There's going to be a good one maybe. Look at that. More roots. Look at that. These guys are rooting good. These guys are rooting good. You can tell by the top growth. The ones with lots of top growth have got lots of roots. There we go. There's some more of them. See that? Look at that. Beautiful roots on that guy. And they are smaller plants, so they're not going to have this massive root complex. But we're getting quite a few of them. Here's some more right here. Look at that. He's got a lot of top growth on him. So he's got a little bit stouter root system. There it is. Look at that. That's how you root lavender. Nice and easy. Just stick them when the growth is softer and more succulent in the early summer, mid-summer, and just let them go. So there they are, guys. I've got 8 of them here in my hand, and you can see they rooted really well. Let's take a close-up. I washed some of the sand off of these guys. Look at that. Isn't that cool what they look like? They're smaller little cuttings. Thanks, Henry, giving your 2 cents. They're smaller little cuttings here, and so you can see they've got smaller root systems, but like I said, what I would really do is not dig these out. I dug these out so you guys could see what we've got going on in here. It's for education, right? But what I would normally want to do is just leave them in that sand and just let them go through the rest of fall, through the winter, and then in late winter, pull them up and pot them up when the roots have gone dormant and they're hardened off, and they've got a better, every time I talk, man, they've got a better chance of surviving and thriving when they're very hardened off, and then you pull them up and pot them up into new pots. And then you can go into the spring and you've got all summer long with warmth to grow tons of roots and grow a much stouter plant. So hopefully I haven't disturbed these guys too much after pulling them up. I'm going to go ahead and put these right back in the sand. Now, on that last burning bush video, a lot of you asked, why am I putting them back in the sand since I pulled them up? Well, I don't want to deal with them right now. Really, I just want to get them back in the sand and get them right back where they were, and hopefully they'll be able to get set in a little bit better before the winter. The other thing is, when I put these back in the sand, I can just water that sand and it'll just fall around the roots. I don't have to do too much to disturb the roots. That sand will just kind of fall around the roots like a nice little cocoon and get them back in their place, and then I'll just let them sit there till winter. So there they are, back in their happy little home in the sand. Hopefully I didn't disturb them too badly. Beautiful little lavender cuttings though. We're going to let these guys rest in here until late winter. We'll come back and see what we've got. I hope we get all of these guys growing like crazy, rooting like crazy, and we've got lots of lavender for next summer. Now I know it's getting later in the season for this, for you guys, but if you live down under New Zealand, Australia, you can get started on this pretty quick. If you live in the northern hemisphere, I'd wait until next summer. But either way, we'll have this video here for you so that when next summer comes, you're ready to propagate your lavender. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow along. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.